Let's start, Michael, with the Titanic clash that everyone was talking about. We were all excited for it heading into Sunday. Bills and the Chiefs. Buffalo gets the 24-20 win. Another fun game in this chapter of what's probably going to be a decade-plus long rivalry between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. This game had everything. I was writing it down in my notes when I was thinking back, reflecting on the game. QB play, atmosphere, high stakes, bad officiating, entertaining finish. It had all the elements, Michael, of what you want to see from an NFL Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt. And I was actually surprised. I didn't think Buffalo played their A game. I didn't think they brought their A game with them offensively. I thought Allen was, even though his numbers were great, I didn't think they were great. I thought that was interesting how determined they were to run the ball. I mean, Singletary had 17 carries in the game. And, of course, Josh had 12, but he only averaged 2.7 a carry. I thought, to me, they were not quite in full rhythm. And yet they were still able to go in there and win the game. So hats off to them. And they made the plays in the fourth quarter when it came down to do it. But, I mean, look, I think they're going to be a really hard out. There's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt they're going to be a hard out. And the Kansas City, for not having explosive plays, they were still able to make plays. Smith-Schuster came out of somewhere. He finally made a big play for them. But I didn't think, Femi, that Buffalo played their A game and still won.
That's what I tweeted yesterday. I said the Bills probably played their B- game, and they were able to go in there, win the game, and cover it as well. Like Buffalo, and we talked about it last Thursday on the podcast and previewing the game, and I said that the Bills, I think, are clearly the best team in football, and that showed, I thought, on Sunday. Do you agree with me that Buffalo's head and shoulders better than everyone else in the league?
Well, I think Buffalo has all three phases going for them. People could argue Philly's undefeated, but I think what we saw, we'll get to Philly in a minute, but Philly offensively the last 2 weeks have not been in great rhythm against Arizona and against Dallas. I mean, they've won games the last 2 weeks with their defense, which has been very good. But I'm with you. I think Buffalo has all the elements running. Von Miller's ability to rush really gives them dimension, and they're well coached defensively. The Milano, if he stays healthy, he makes a ton of plays. I mean, look, they made Mahomes work for his money yesterday. I mean, he did it. I mean, I know he turned the ball over in the fourth quarter, but it was really kind of impressive. I mean, they had 10 drives in the game, and they had, we were talking earlier in the week who would have 3 punts, and the team that lost is the team that had 3 punts, and that was the Chiefs. And so, I think ultimately these games come down to the fourth quarter, right? Buffalo had 24 plays in the fourth quarter. They had 8 first downs, and they scored a touchdown. Kansas City had 12 plays in the fourth quarter. They kicked the field goal, and they turned it over. There's the game right there.
Josh Allen, 27 of 40, 329 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He is now the favorite over at DraftKings to be the MVP. He's been the favorite since the summertime, but now it's really strong. Plus 160 to win league's most valuable player. But I also think, Michael, that we have to give a little credit to Sean McDermott and that coaching staff and their decision to go for it on 4th and inches on their own 33-yard line when they were trailing 20-17. They had all 3 timeouts. They could have easily punted the football and tried to rely on that defense to get the football back, but they went ahead and used Josh Allen, who's as big as anybody on the field other than Chris Jones, and they did the QB sneak. They were able to go and score the touchdown and take the lead for good there. So I thought that decision, while risky, ended up working out there for the Buffalo Bills.
And it was the only 4th down they converted in the game. They were 1 for 3 on 4th down in the game. And so, yeah, I get you. You know what I think, to me, if I were a coach in the league, what I would do is I would line up. Do you remember when Refrigerator Perry was getting the ball and jump? Like, I would take my biggest defensive lineman, all right, and I would line them up, offset to the back. And I would make them stand there. And as soon as the back got the ball and started to go to the line, I would have that guy just ram his back forward. I thought that was illegal. You weren't allowed to embed the runner, move it like rugby, but everybody's doing it now. Like, I would definitely do that. I would get the biggest guy I have and just line up and just let the ball go to the halfback and then let everybody push him back. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just, to me, is like, how do you stop a 6'5", 250-pound man from getting 1 inch? Now, I mean, New England did it against Brissett. Brissett's a big guy. They did it against him. So, but it's hard. It's hard, and I think you're right. I think, I bitch about 4th down. I thought that was the right 4th down call because in the context of the game, Femi, I thought the flow, it had to go because Kansas City, even though, they were not – now, they had 6 explosive plays in the game, 2 over 40. So their offense was a little bit more dynamic. But I didn't think that, they were moving the ball and eating clock as they were going down there too. So you were not going to get the ball back.
I just saw this note come across, and it said Josh Allen was at 9 of 10 with 204 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions on passes of 15-plus air yards against the Chiefs yesterday, a perfect passer rating of 158.3.
It's remarkable. It's remarkable for the guy that was so inaccurate. Like, it just defies logic. Yeah. Like, it just, to me, I admit I was wrong on Josh Allen's accuracy. There's no doubt. But to me, where he's come from in terms of the improvement level, it isn't just like, I always talk about the Brett Favre line, throw it through the door, hit the doorknob, or throw it through the keyhole. Like, when a guy's really inaccurate like he was, okay, great. He'll hit the doorknob. This son of a bitch is throwing it through the keyhole even better. Like, that touchdown throw he made was incredible at the back corner of the end zone. It was incredible.
What's interesting, though, because I talked about this last week about how I'm a little shaky on Kansas City, and I want to get your opinion on it now that we've seen them go up against the Buffalo Bills. Do you think the Chiefs are closer to the Bills, or are they closer to the rest of the pack in the AFC?
Well, I think as long as they got Mahomes, they're closer to the Bills, right?
Okay.
I do think that. I mean, I think you could say if you're the Chargers or the Raiders who had the Chiefs beat there, right?
Both of them, yep.
That they could have beaten them easily there. That, they're kind of close to the Raiders and the Chargers. But at the end of the day, with Mahomes, when you go through all these games, who makes the plays in the fourth quarter? Who does the things when it's the hardest? And as long as the Chiefs have Mahomes, I don't think you can count them out. I don't think you can count them out. I think they're just so good there. And defensively, I think they'll get better as the year goes on. But, I mean, Andy Reid is such a good coach in terms of how he manages the game. I thought he did a great job in that game. Look, he only ran the ball 18 times in the game. And I think if you're going to play Buffalo, right, if you're going to go play Buffalo, you got to find a way to keep the ball away from him. I mean, he had the ball 28 minutes. Buffalo had it 31. I think if you're playing Buffalo, you got to have the ball 34 minutes, and you got to hope he only has it 26.
That seems to be the formula to beat the Buffalo Bills, but they improved to 5-1 heading into the bye week, and like we've talked about on this podcast for quite some time, the best team in the NFL. Thanks for watching the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi, and for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to VSiN Live and the GM Shuffle podcast with Michael Lombardi, presented by DraftKings and VSiN, wherever you get your podcasts.